with his 3 daughters. The youngest, Princess Carmela, was the most beautiful. There was Princess Carmela. Near the king's castle, there was a great dark forest filled with 9 trees. And right in the center of the forest was a well. And when the day was warm, Princess Carmela would go out into the forest and she'd sit by the side of the well. When she'd get bored, she'd take her golden ball and would throw it up and catch it. It was her favorite toy. One day, while the princess was playing with her ball, she threw it up too high and failed to catch it. It bounced twice into the deep, deep well of water. Princess Carmela started to cry, and she cried and cried and cried, louder and louder, and she would not stop crying.
What's the matter, young princess? You cry so loud that the frogs from the next kingdom can hear you crying.
Startled, she looked around to see where the voice was coming from. And then she saw a frog stretching forth. It was huge and ugly.
Ah! Cold water splasher! Ew! It is you! I'm crying because my golden ball has fallen into the well.
Don't worry and do not cry. I can help you. But what will you do if I bring your favorite toy up again?
Whatever you wish, dear frog. My clothes, my pearls and jewels, and even the golden crown which I am wearing. You can have it all.
I do not care for your clothes, your pearls and jewels, nor your golden crown. But if you will love me and let me be your companion and playmate, and sit at your little table and eat with you on your golden plate, and drink out of your little cup, and sleep in your bed, if you will promise me that you will do as I wish, I will go down the deep dark well and bring you back your golden ball.
Oh yes, I promise you, I will grant your wish if you rescue my golden ball from the deep dark well. Pretty please, dear frog. How silly is this ugly frog?
Princess Carmela thought this frog was just like all other frogs that would sit in the water and croak. He could be no companion to any human being, much less a princess as beautiful as her. When the frog heard Princess Carmela accept his conditions, he quickly dove into the well and swam deep, deep, deep down into the dark, murky water. In a short while, the frog came up again with a golden ball in his mouth. He spat it out and it rolled on the ground. The young princess cheered with delight to see her pretty toy once more and picked it up and ran away with it.
Wait! Take me with you! I can run as you can!
Aww. What a pity. The frog could not scream. He could only croak, croak, and croak. Princess Carmela did not heed the frog's plea. Instead, She ran home, straight to the castle, and forgot the poor ugly frog. As soon as she reached the castle, she played with her ball and hugged it again and again. She was very happy to have her ball back. Sadly, she forgot about the frog. The next day, Princess Carmela was enjoying her breakfast with the king. She was using her little golden plate. Meanwhile, at the castle entrance, a slimy thing went splish, splash, splish, splash up the marble staircase. And upon reaching the top, it tapped on the heavy door and cried.
For me.
The guards were surprised to see the frog calling the princess, and the princess heard the call, and she ran to see who it was. But when she looked outside, she got startled to see the ugly little frog. She slammed the door, and in great haste, she ran back to the table, sat down, and ate her meal again, trembling with fright. The king saw plainly that her heart was beating violently and asked,
"My child, what are you afraid of? Is there, by any chance, a giant outside who wants to take you away?"
No, dear father. It is not a giant. It's a disgusting frog.
What does the frog want from you?
Dear father, well, yesterday, as I was in the forest sitting by the well, playing with my golden ball, it fell into the water. I cried so hard that this ugly frog offered to rescue my ball, but asked for a wish to be granted in return. I didn't think he would come out alive after going deep down into that dark well, so I accepted and promised him that I would love him and share my golden plate, my golden cup, my golden bed, and toys with him. Now, he wants to come in and make that wish.
Princess, young princess, open the door for me. Do you not remember what you promised me yesterday by the deep murky waters of the well?
You have made a promise, so you must honor it. Go, and let the frog in.
Princess Carmela stood up and walked to the door and opened it, and the frog hopped in and followed her, step by step, to her chair, and there he sat and pleaded.
Lift me up beside you, please.
The princess stopped and thought for a moment. At last, the king commanded her to lift up the frog to sit with her. And once the frog was on the chair, he asked to be on the table. And when he was on the table, he said,
Now, princess, please push your little golden plate to me that we may eat together.
She did so, unwillingly. The frog enjoyed his meal, but the princess almost choked with every mouthful she took. The frog smiled and said,
I have eaten and I'm satisfied. Now I'm tired. Please carry me to your room. I want to rest.
The young princess began to cry because she didn't like the thought of the cold, dirty, slimy frog sleeping in her pretty, clean bed. The king grew angry and said,
He who helped you when you were in trouble ought not afterwards to be despised by you.
her 2 fingers, stealthily carried him upstairs and put him in a corner. But when she climbed on her bed, he hopped to her and said,
I'm tired. I want to rest in your pretty cushion bed. You promised me to share your golden bed. Bring me up, or I will tell your father.
Princess Carmela was terribly angry. She picked up the frog and threw him with all her might against the wall.
Now will you be quiet, you odious frog?
The princess said. But when he fell down, he suddenly turned into a handsome prince with kind and beautiful eyes. Princess Carmela could not believe her eyes and gaped in awe at the sight. And the prince bowed down and explained to her why he became an ugly frog. The young prince was put under a dark spell when he saved a deer and its brood from a wicked witch in the forest. And the wicked witch turned him into a frog, and the spell could only be broken if the prince, in the form of a frog, found a human to accept him, feed him, and care for him. So the young princess apologized to the young prince for her attitude towards him.
It is alright. Although you didn't accept and care for me, it was your father that honored your promise. The king accepted me, fed me, and cared for me with honor.